Hi, guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is B, and this is Shits with B. So, we are going to begin with a book by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie titled Dream Counts. So, let's dive in. Yay!
Hi everybody, once again, welcome to my YouTube channel. Oh, sorry, our YouTube channel. So before we dive into our book review today, let me just give a highlight of what we are going to be doing here. So we are going to be doing book reviews, movies, latest trends, popular opinions about things happening around the world, and then maybe some learnings with finance and economics and how it can affect us. um Moving forward, before we dive in, please hit the subscribe button, like and share your comments below. So before we start with this, our first book, as we already know, is Dream Count by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Before we start this review, guys, I want to ask Chiamaka why. Hey God, I don't understand. I get that, I mean, sometimes we get carried away with emotions, but guys, why? Like Chiamaka, why? Let me give an overview of the book. The book is actually 366 pages. It's not really long because, in my opinion, I've read books longer than that, and in my opinion, I think it's not long because it's you're living the moment. Do you get? The book is a reality, and it's basically what um, you've you've passed through before. It's like you're moving through a journey. Do you get? And sometimes you're like, wow. So don't be only me they face this kind of wahala. So I'll advise that you grab a copy. You can get it on Amazon. You can get them. Those who don't like reading, you can get the voice on too on Amazon. You can buy. I will drop the links below. So before we get started, so this book has sorry, let's get started. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. This book has four protagonists. You have Chiamaka, the traveler, the daddy's girl. You have Zikora, who is her childhood friend, and she's a lawyer in the US. They both live in the US. You have Omelego. Guys, no spoiler alert, but guy, Omelego from the beginning, Sha. She's my babe, like she's my best character. And then you have Kaziatu, who is Chiamaka's mate and an immigrant in the US who came to the US to get a better life for her daughter, Aminatu. So it's just started with during the pandemic period. How Chiamaka was reflecting how things just changed. You and I mean, we all went through that. You get, like, how you couldn't go out, you couldn't associate anymore. Maybe the parties you used to attend, you can't even anymore. You used to do everything virtually. Sometimes people like me, I would say I was scared of the social media then, because it was bad news upon bad news, like, oh, they've captured these people this way, the number of um, crises are increasing in this state more. I mean, that period I was in Kaduna, and sometimes when you're in your estate, you just hear, anytime you hear the siren, you're panicking. You don't even know if it's coming to your house to come and carry you. Then I even think that some neighbors will even, if they are beefing you, they will call the ambulance to come and carry you, because I don't get, you don't even know if the person is dead, or you don't even know if the person is alive. And then you now start reflecting on, guy, you start reflecting, like, was this really necessary? All these things, like going to school, trying to get a life, trying to move forward, and then everything is just still, like, you start asking yourself if this is going to change. You now start reading about pandemics that had happened before, how the people came about it. You're like, did this guy survive this? Are we going to survive it? But there was one thing for sure that period: the animals were the happiest, because they were the ones who had the streets. Because, like, you couldn't even go out. If you go out, it was a taboo. You're even scared. I was very, very scared. I got COVID twice. Yeah, twice. And The first time, I mean, I was lucky. I didn't have to go. In short, I've never gone for quarantine, but I mean, everything was delivered to me home, and it got better thanks to that. So imagine Chiamaka who was somebody always on the move. I mean, her job required her to, always be on the move. She was a traveler, a writer, and imagine her just sitting home and just getting confused. She was basically going through what all of us were going through. But what pricked me was Chiamaka's love story, guys. Chiamaka, I earlier asked Chiamaka why. Because Chiamaka came from a loving home. Her parents did not used to joke with her. A very pretty girl. And the way they describe Chiamaka, like, I don't even know whose face. Me, I think I created my own Chiamaka. Because, guys, she was a goddess. Very pretty. But I think she had issues with love or identity issues, because her first love story, right? Let me just give small. I don't want to spoil the book, because I know, yeah, most of us have read this book, but some of us are yet to complete. But guys, did you guys notice what that Daniel guy did? Yeah, some of us actually went through that. I remember Chiamaka fell in love with this guy because of his charisma, maybe the way he carries himself, the way he talks, Yeah, I went to, if you are from Cameroon, like, you know these guys from Sacred Heart College. When we were in secondary school, I think if we have an outing that our school has to meet with these boys will cram the dictionary to come and impress us. When you'll be talking, you'll be like, wow, hey God. Like, you'll be perplexed, like, all this big grammar. And now when you go to the dormitory, I mean, you go for night prep and you want to study, you carry dictionary because you cram words that these guys were using. You read and you be like, but why did you not just use this word? Like, why did you have to? And then you now start smiling like, the guy, this is swaggish. Hey. So Chiamaka like fell in love with this guy. I think she liked the guy. The guy was an art historian. Yeah, he's called Daniel, an art historian. He had a very toxic group of friends. Girls, like, I mean, ladies, we have to be aware. If the person you're falling in love with has people who always complain, who are always, I mean, they are so toxic, guys, run. Because even the guy too, every little thing he will complain. From the time he noticed Chiamaka's parents' wealth, it was an issue. Imagine cracking a joke about how Chiamaka's parents sold his own family to the US, and that's the money they are using. But if you read this book, you will notice how Chiamaka's father started from scratch after the Biafra War, when everything was taken away from him, even inheritance. Yeah, he grew up in wealth, but when the war came, you know what war can do? It took everything away, and they had to compensate them with 20 pounds. So this man started from below. Imagine living from grace to grass, and then starting back from grass, then moving to grace, and then once somebody from somewhere comes in and is saying nonsense. It was really nonsense to me. So Chiamaka was sponsoring this guy. She was living for this guy. I don't know what her problem was, because this babe saw love. She lived love. Her parents were loving. Her mom, hey, if you're reading Chiamaka's mom's part, I don't even want to go in detail, but if you're reading this part, this song, this song, there's Minister of Enjoyment, it will be coming to your mind, because that woman was not joking. Madam Designer, she wasn't joking. So I don't know what was wrong with Chiamaka being in love with this guy. The guy was toxic. He just wanted Chiamaka to, that kind of love where you have to move on eggshell. So I don't know. I literally don't get. And then she now moved on to another guy, a French guy. And even when this guy told her he was married, this babe still wanted coitus with the guy. I don't understand. After they had coitus, maybe that's when her sense came in. Like the way her sense came in with Daniel. with Daniel had to keep embarrassing this babe, embarrassing this babe. This babe did not want to open up to Omelego. You know, I noticed something. I mean, most of us, I don't think all of us, most of us actually went through this phase. And there's one thing I will say: when you dey move for love, you know, because hey, I'm a living example. When you dey move for love, you dey know, because when you're moving for love, right? Most times you don't tell your friends because you dey fear. It's when the thing has hook you. When you don't hook for them, you know if you breathe. That's when you will not tell your friend. Your friend will speak sense into you. Because she wasn't opening up to Omelego. Like there was even one time when Omelego, Zikora, and Chiamaka and the Daniel guy, they were having lunch. Chiamaka was just scared that hey, Omelego should not discover some things. She didn't even want Omelego to be expressive. And I love the way Omelego challenged the guy. Chiamaka was like, hey, she was just trying to make the environment okay. And you're like, babe, what's happening? Omelego noticed it. We'll be like, people are giving opinions. Like there was one part Omelego was giving an opinion about when Chiamaka was saying, oh, she really trusts her nanny. And the guy was trying to make Chiamaka sound stupid, like that kind of, so you're trusting her because she's a Muslim. Omelego was like, where she comes from, most people trust Muslims. I for one, I understood Omelego because let me give an example here. When I was in Kaduna, I was working in Kaduna, there's what we call hire purchase. If you get a bike, right, you give a Muslim guy and you give one to a Christian guy, that Muslim would deliver every single day. In 6 months, you're going to have your money. But that Christian guy, it will be from one complaint to another, to another, to another. Like, you will get tired. At one point, you'll be like, guy, carry the bike, they go, because I know get strength. So I understood where Omelego was coming from. But the guy was trying to like show, when Omelego tried to support the cousin, and then the guy was making as if it was a stupid idea. I love what Omelego did. Even when the guy brought in that his childish joke of Chiamaka's parents, I love Omelego shush the guy. But Chiamaka, oh, I sure. It was when she went to France and finally had sense. You know, when they disgrace you, they used to say, if you want to really move on, keep receiving the disgrace. One day, you'll be ashamed of yourself and you'll move on. That was what actually happened to Chiamaka. And that's exactly also what happened when she was with the French guy. And then moving on to Chiamaka being in love with one guy who was introduced to her by her cousin or family friend, Febechi Chooks. I mean, this guy, from the beginning, he made his intentions known, and this guy worshipped the ground Chiamaka walked on. But I think Chiamaka was done with love. Oh, I don't understand. Oh, she's allergic, or she was allergic to green flag. This guy had green flag everywhere. Be like Chiamaka just like red billboard. I don't know what was happening because hey, this guy, there's even one instance, right? This guy defended Chiamaka and I was like, yeah, this is it. When the guy's friend tried to shame the guy because he was carrying Chiamaka's bag, and the guy was like, I will carry my woman's bag. You know, there are some guys who like want to shame your man. That kind of, hey, you're carrying her bag, when you put her, she will control you, she will this, she will that. I mean, there's some guys who have that stupid mentality. Yeah, I get the fact that Chiamaka didn't like this guy's friends. But you know, me, I'm living it. I'm an Igbo man, right? I'm sorry. I married an Igbo man. So sometimes you will not like all of their friends, but you just have to cope. Because some of their friends, when they talk, you'll be like, some of them are too traditional, and it's worrying. Like, you get worried. But you know who your man is. Chiamaka knew who her guy was. She knew who Chooks was. Chooks worshipped the ground Chiamaka walked on. Chooks read Chiamaka's stories, her writings. Something that Daniel will never do. Do you get? Yeah, he was a doctor. I mean, he probably grew up in that family gathering where when you grow up, you have to either be a doctor, a lawyer, or a pilot. You know all those things now. I mean, as we grew up in Africa. But then again, I don't know why Chiamaka had an issue with his career. Chiamaka had an issue because this guy was using kiwi polish. Kiwi polish that used to make people's shoes shine. I don't understand why she had an issue with that. So it all boils down to if you don't like person, you don't like person, because I don't know why. Like, her excuses were flimsy. At the end of the day, she served this guy breakfast, and I was so pissed because this guy was it. This guy worshipped the ground. Even when Chiamaka will receive rejection, he will understand with Chiamaka. He will encourage Chiamaka. Do you get? And then you now start wondering at the end of the day that, guys, like, what really builds our self-esteem? Is it that sometimes us women, we don't really think we deserve love? Because Chiamaka was loved and she was pushing it away. She didn't even know why she was breaking up with this Chooks guy. But the Daniel guy was useless. He was always giving her trouble. Anytime she was with him, she was always praying for the guy to send her a text message. But Chooks would always check up on her, always call her. She always wanted Daniel to discover her, but Chooks would always discover her. So you now start wondering, is it that we like toxic? I mean, are we attracted to toxic men? Or no, God forbid me, I'm not attracted to it though. But sometimes you now start wondering, is it the face that you have to be attracted to somebody so toxic before you now realize yourself? Is it like, do you think as parents there are some certain things you can do to really build your daughter's self-esteem? Because I don't even know if it was a self-esteem issue or self-doubt issue. Chiamaka grew up in love. She lived love. Her parents loved her. They were not joking with her. But she ended up with somebody like that. Like, she at the end of the day, she ended single at 44. And you now start reflecting, what did you do wrong? How can you reconcile your past to forge forward? You know, and then how do you build meaningful connections? Because I don't understand. Please drop your comments below. Like, I mean, what do you think we can actually do in future for our kids, like, not to fall prey to this kind of things? Because it's showing that if you like, you love your child, no matter what, I mean, she can fall for things like this. Moving on to Zikora, we are going to begin with Zikora's part next week. I'm going to drop her video next week. But it also, I think it was centered around identity issue. Zikora, I don't know if it's that. This is a big lawyer in the US. She has everything going on for herself. But there's always this imposter syndrome, like you feel like you're not enough because of some people's decisions. I don't get why sometimes us ladies, we will fall in love like wholeheartedly. I don't have a problem with you falling in love. And then maybe at the end of the day, the person is stupid. You now start blaming yourself. How can we actually reduce that thing? How can we move forward and know that we are the prize and not blame ourselves? Please drop your comments below, like and subscribe. See you next week and bye.